Welcome back, my students, to a brand new episode of Comic Class. In today's lesson, as we'll be talking about Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr.'s The Amazing Spider-Man issue 2. And yeah, this is the second issue in the new Zeb Wells, John Romita Jr. run of The Amazing Spider-Man. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into today's story. Let's go. So this story starts off with Norman Osborn basically paying Peter Parker a visit at his apartment. It tells him that he has a type of job for Peter that he might be interested in, and it's revealed to us as his two grandkids, and he basically leaves them in Peter's care, saying that basically Harry's wife needed some time off, so she left the kids with Norman, but Norman basically wants Peter to babysit for her, so he basically leaves them in his care and says that if he does a good job, he might have a work spot for him in his new company that he's working on right now, and kind of like creating new office spaces and stuff like that for people to basically handle it while he basically has like a retired type of life, it seems, or at least in a higher position like the CEO. So that's pretty interesting. And I guess the babysitting basically goes well for Peter, but while that's going on, we get to see that Janice, aka the Beetle, basically goes to talk to Tombstone, her father, and he basically tells her that he wants her to get out of the city because he's basically gonna have to go back to his old ways and start killing a lot of people. He doesn't want her to see that, so she basically accepts his offer after trying to think that, you know, he basically didn't want to see her get hurt, but instead not wanting her to see what he's about to become, you know, how he used to be, basically that somebody that she never saw before or something like that. So she basically tells him that she'll follow what he says and that she'll get out of town for a bit while he deals with this problem and getting back his territory and showing the rest of the crime bosses who he is and who the boss is basically of the city. So I thought that was really cool, and we get to see that Tombstone goes to his bathroom and basically starts taking out his teeth for some reason. I'm guessing there's some importance to that I have to read before the Nit Spencer run to understand. If anyone knows why exactly this seems to be a big deal, be sure to comment down below, let me know if you have that type of knowledge on Tombstone's character and why this is a big deal. But yeah, skipping forward, we get to see that bunny girl, I don't know exactly what her name is hanging out with that crook that basically Spider-Man saved in issue 1 from that burning truck, from exploding, basically, the one that exploded. And we get to see that they're basically having a ton of superhero costumes or super villain costumes in the back of their truck. And we see like the Vulture's outfit and Mysterio's outfit and Electro's outfit. So we'll see exactly where this goes in the future issues, but I'm guessing this Sinister will be coming back pretty soon, and I believe that for the 900th issue it's supposed to be something like a Adaptoid Sinister Six robot with all the Sinister Six powers or something like that, and we'll be definitely talking about that in a future video coming to the channel soon. But we get to see that Spider-Man basically breaks in and sees the two and basically tells them that he needs information about where Tombstone is. In exchange for this information, he'll let them have a head start, basically to not be sent to the police for dealing arms and stuff like that to crime bosses and crooks and all that. But after the rabbit basically gives Spider-Man what he needs, and we had a really cool moment with the little crook, basically, that he says that he's not going to point a gun at Spider-Man after he saved his life. So we'll see if this crook basically is a recurring character. Maybe he'll change his ways and become a good guy in the future, a protective member of society. That'll be pretty interesting if we see Spider-Man's actions of saving him, basically, or saving people that most people wouldn't, actually turns into them, you know, having a second chance of basically becoming a better person. I think that'd be a really cool storyline if they take his character like that and character progression. But Spider-Man gets the information he needs, and then he weds both of them and says that they can tell the police basically about all the stuff that he promised them, and that they're definitely going to be helping and sympathetic to a couple of criminals instead of Spider-Man. So I thought that was a really funny quip from Spider-Man, just messing around with the rabbit girl and the crook. And he basically goes off to face Tombstone, or find Tombstone, before he does something crazy. Now we see the Crime Master, which was crazy because I didn't know Crime Master was a part of this whole plot, but he's basically playing both sides to the war, basically saying he's remaining neutral. And Tombstone basically makes his way into his building, basically to where he's at. He basically killed all of his guards and stuff, and he wants more of his guards to be called by the Crime Master, basically telling him to call his people, that way he can kill them as well. He wants to make an example of Crime Master and his people and anyone trying to play both sides, basically to be neutral in this war, this crime war. So I thought that was really cool. So eventually Spider-Man's spider sense goes off while he's patrolling the city and basically trying to find where Tombstone's at, and he finally finds him with all this group of armed people basically just killed and destroyed, and it's kind of crazy all the people that Tombstone killed. And Spider-Man shows up and basically Tombstone tells him that he's reasserting himself just like he said he would, and that the whole city was going to change basically, and because he kind of went back to what he used to be. And he says he's going to make an example, the crime master basically kill him, but Spider-Man says that there's no way he's going to let that happen, and he gets into a fight with Tombstone when Tombstone starts laughing at him after he says what's so funny basically, and does an awesome kick to basically send Tombstone flying backwards into the trucks, inside the truck basically. And the fight scene's really cool. We get to see different action panels. Eventually, the insides of the truck start kind of like closing in. It says the hydraulics walls closing in. And we get a really cool scene with Spider-Man basically trying to use his spider strength to basically stop the truck from crushing him and the Crime Master, which I believe worked, which is crazy the amount of strength Spider-Man would need to pull off a feat like this. But he tries to take on Tombstone again after doing this feat, and he gets a body shot from Tombstone to his body, and he still, even after he starts struggling basically to stay conscious, he's basically grabbed by Tombstone, squeezed until he loses consciousness. He basically says that his ribs crack, which is crazy. And the issue ends with the truck basically going into, I guess, this like hideout area on the dock of New York City, the fishing dock or boat dock or whatever. And we had to see that the bunny, or the rabbit girl, basically was in on Tombstone's plan, it seems, and getting Spider-Man captured. And she's basically smiling as the door to the garage basically slams, and that's the end of the issue, saying to be continued. And yeah, that was Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr.'s The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 2. Overall, very solid issue. I really enjoyed this issue more than the first one. I do think that the cover for the issue is very clickbaity, and it had nothing to do with Peter and MJ basically talking about what exactly is happening. And I have a theory that MJ's kids and husband, implied, aren't real, but I'll be making a video of that in the next couple of days. But that's gonna be all, guys. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe as we cover the Amazing Spider-Man series on the channel, and we will be covering issue number 3 when it drops. But until next video, guys, God bless you. Until next lesson, keep on reading those comments.